Day, you think it is just a pen, until it takes your hand. SCP-067 looks calm, but it makes the subject cooperate. SCP-067 is safe when not in use or the subject of study. It is stored in its felt-lined wooden box. The nib is to be corked. All art and writings are submitted to SCP Research Command. It is a fountain pen made by Pelican between World War I and II. It is pale green with a single red line down the side. The shell is oak. The nib is extremely sharp. Yet the nib never runs out of fresh ink. It writes in iron gall ink. That ink would normally corrode typical fountain pens quickly. Research has surmised that any subject holding SCP-067 loses autonomy of the hand and arm that grasps it. Full sensation stays intact, but the arm below the elbow is controlled by unknown forces. One effect is the controlled hand will start to use the pen to write a detailed biography. It includes name, age. Test subject 1204M held SCP-067. He began to write a detailed record of a motor vehicle accident from the year before. Later, the subject admitted many details were not readily available to him. He had forgotten elements present in the written work. He had forgotten his previous car's license plate number. He had forgotten the other vehicle's color. He said the memory was so fresh during transcription that he could taste the blood in his mouth. Test subject 1102F had no previous artistic experience. She drew a winged creature resembling SCP. Researchers described it as, when asked what happens, the typical response is that the subject relinquishes control. They say they let SCP-067 complete its work unimpeded. Even when instructed to not draw or write, they report empathy, admiration, and cooperation. A test checked effects on living creatures other than humans. The test subject was he was placed in a standard psychological surveillance room. SCP-067 was there, a work table was there, and a pad of paper was there. The subject picked up SCP-067 in his left foot. Then he took it in his right hand. Then he tasted it. He put the pen down on the paper and smelled it. After 30 seconds, he picked it up again. He began tapping it repeatedly on the table. He began tapping SCP-067 on his own body. He tapped with mechanical analysis later revealed no damage. He tore a page from the pad of paper. He began rubbing it on the ink in his fur. This continued for 3 minutes. He clutched the page in his teeth. He leaped onto the ledge of the observation mirror. The table was knocked over. He smeared ink from the paper onto the observation mirror. He made repeated vocalizations. Analysis found 50% were typical distress vocalizations. The other 50% were unfamiliar. After 6 minutes, he collapsed on the floor. He breathed rapidly. He repeated the unfamiliar vocalizations. Once removed from the room, the handler reported his mood improved rapidly. He was closely observed for 2 months. He did not repeat the atypical vocalizations. The sheet of paper was filed away nearby in the archive, SCP-066 and SCP-068